Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Vorm, and this is Plains of Pain, where you play a character set in a post-apocalyptic, heat-ravaged world, trying to, survive, craft, gather, defend, fight, build up settlements, manipulate factions, drive around in gravity hover-assisted vehicles, a whole bunch of stuff. So it is in somewhat of an alpha, mid-alpha beta state. There are some issues, some jank, some problems, but it does offer quite a bit of entertaining gameplay in its own way. It does a few things different from most of the games in this kind of a style or genre that I do enjoy, but warning up front, there will be issues. I'll try to warn you of as many as I can. There's one prevalent one that I've been running into problems with in even getting this kind of a video recorded, where the quest chain gets broken pretty early, like 10, 15 minutes in. And when it happens, there's no way to recover it that I'm aware of currently until they fix whatever's going on with it. So it's ruined multiple attempts for me to record, some footage, some gameplay of Plains of Pain that I can send over to the fine folks over at YouTube. So what I have done in this run is I've already created the world, jumped in, gotten past the point where that broken chain occurs, and we're going to start from there. So I'll describe what I did in the first 10-15 minutes. It doesn't take much explanation, but very little of the gameplay has been missed, but just realize I'm doing this specifically to prevent another occurrence of me trying to record a video and then just having it break. There's also occasionally some map gen problems, things like that. For single player, as long as you're aware of these things, you can check them pretty quickly when you start a new run and then just start over. It's just majorly a pain for me, a content creator, when I run into these things after already putting in a bunch of time and then having it break. But I don't want that to dissuade you from the entertainment value that is offered. It's a small development team. Reasonably priced game for the kind of content that it offers. I think it's $20 normally, $15 on sale recently. So for the value, the entertainment is there, and it's improving as time goes by. I haven't checked deep into the history of the developers and how often they're updating. I know they just finished up a major overhaul of the engine and changed a bunch. So they're probably working on the next stage of enhancements or updates. But that's kind of where we're at. So let's go ahead and go single player. Oh, one thing I do want to mention, if you're going to play this, for some reason, in the settings screen, this FPS entry, every time you load, is going to be set to max. You generally do not want that. You do not want that most often. I just set it to 60 frames per second, and then it locks it in there. But it does not remember this setting. Every time you launch it, be careful to go in and make sure you set this to whatever you need it to be for your hardware. But for my purposes, especially when I'm recording, telling it to max out my graphics card's ability while trying to stream is a horrible proposition. So, just be cautious. It does not remember this setting. Come in here and adjust it. Yeah, it's bad for multiple reasons. They should not be on max or unlimited or whatever sometimes these are set for, especially with an Unreal Engine program. So, set it to whatever. But just remember, it does not set that currently. It doesn't save the settings, so you have to come back in here every time you launch. Okay, now, single player. So you can create a portrait. That's all it is, a portrait. You just pick a portrait. So in the Worlds Manager here, you can create a world. Just name it. Give it a seed number for generation. Pick a size. And there's only one map style at the moment. So I have already created a world that we're going to be using. And then you do the same thing for the character manager. All this does is put a name on the character. So we have created Vormithrax for this run. And then you pick a difficulty. So I've got it on the true Wastelander medium difficulty, where most things are 100% without much modification. But yeah, there's some options. You can see the adjustments that it's going to make. Play however you'd like. All right, let's hit start game. It's going to jump me back into my game in progress. Like I said, I'll explain where I'm at in the game and what I've done so far to get us past the broken quest line point. And hopefully we'll have a good time. So the background, I don't know a lot about the background history of the world. They don't really tell you much, but the world you end up in is basically sun-scorched and heat-ravaged. There are regular heat waves that occur that you have to get out of direct sunlight. The temperature goes up, which can be a big problem. There's also regular meteor showers with actual meteor rocks hitting the ground and, maybe blowing you up. All right, so here's our dude in progress right there. We got a few items I accumulated in the early part of the game. Now, when you start, and I got to talk fast because I can't afford to not be doing things, but here's the starter map. I'm going to zoom all the way out. This is a medium-sized map, and this is the extent. I can't zoom left or right or drag left or right and up and down. That's as far as it goes. Now, there's quite a bit in the map, but for the purpose... Actually, I don't remember if this was medium or large. It might have been large. But either way, so you always start near Frank and Ron. These are kind of the intro beginner tutorial NPCs. They're a pair of robots that you'll do some starter quests for. You'll come back on occasion to get a few things to trade with them. There's usually a settlement nearby, and then Ammo Ace Jackson is where the problem with the quest line occurs. You do about 4 quests for Frank and Ron, and then Frank is supposed to send you to Ammo Ace, and when he does... There should be a marker on your HUD right along the horizon showing you where Ammo Ace is. So if I click on Ammo Ace here on the map, and then I click this on, you'll see what I mean. So it should do that. As soon as you get the quest, that should appear on your horizon, whichever direction it's located. If you do not see that, your quest is broken, and you cannot progress it. If you go there, it won't progress, so it's a big problem. But it only takes about 10-15 minutes, depending on some luck, to get that to show up or not show up, and you'll know whether you're in the broken situation. So I ran some early quests for these guys. Very simple, just a few basic items you'll get either here in the camp by looting or by going out to a few metal loot piles nearby. Once you get those done, they send you over there. I did run over there, got the quest progressed, I looted some things from some buildings, then I came back. And that's where we're at. So I'm going to pause it for a second while I talk a little more, and then we'll get rolling. So that's kind of where we're at. I got a few basic items. I did get a backpack made. We found some goats, and I was able to kill the goats and get some hides and stitch together a leather backpack. So that's one of the big first things you want to try to do, is you only need 4 goats, 4 hides from the goats in order to get the leather backpack put together. And then I've got like a stone axe and a stick and a couple other minor items. I desperately need to get some water. That's going to be a constant ongoing issue for a while. I need to get food, which is less of an issue. We need to get better storage. I need to get storage where I can dump gear. Getting storage, accumulated storage, is a bit of a problem. It's hard initially. You're going to want to pick up everything, but you're going to need to, control your tendencies to grab all the stuff, because you won't have a place to put it. So I'll be struggling with inventory management, water and food management. I need to do quests for various NPCs. We need to visit locations. I need to build up faction reputation. We earn experience where I can then spend points in a kind of a skill tree thing. And it's not really a tree. It's just a list of skills, and you can choose which ones to upgrade. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Midterm goal is to get a settlement where we're going to set up our own actual base, and we're going to develop the settlement. There are buildings that we can pour resources into to construct that will defend the settlement or provide resources or provide us a storage location, things like that. If we protect the settlement citizens and we upgrade their buildings and we feed them and put water into kind of a settlement container that they all share, then we'll get more and more access to the things they can do for us. So it's kind of a long-term goal to build up a settlement, and maybe even a couple of them over time. So we'll be devoting a lot of resources to that kind of thing. There's going to be a lot of me just running back and forth between locations with limited inventory capacity. So a whole bunch of that. Eventually, I'm going to get a vehicle put together, and then things will open up quite a bit. That'll speed up our travel, give us more storage capability. There's different kinds of vehicles with different speed settings and cargo capacities and fuel efficiency. The vehicles can be upgraded. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's also 4 factions. There's the Dustlander faction, which is this starting area and a kind of the local citizens and settlements. They're the Dustborn faction. Then there's 2 starting neutral factions. They're the kind of main factions, TOS and OGD, ODG. I always forget which letters it is. Some combination of them. Those two are hostile to each other, but they're neutral to us initially. And we can either try to stay nice with everybody, or we can make one of them hostile and go hunting them and getting their gear and all that kind of stuff. So it's a thing, but it's more of a mid-late game thing we'll get into if we play that long. And then there's the bandit faction, which you start out with a major negative reputation with them, and we're going to be fighting them quite a bit. So we're going to stay hostile to bandits and loot them and fight them. We'll try to stay neutral or slightly positive with the other two main factions, and Dustlander will just be raising as we help folks and build up settlements. All right, so there you go. That's the progress and the status in a nutshell, and I'll start doing things. Interface-wise, pretty straightforward, and I'm pausing it while I talk about this because time passing is a big deal, and I don't have a lot of resources right now, so I can't stand still and explain stuff while my food and hunger bars are depleting. But in the upper left, it'll be some quest options that we have currently. Bottom left is some HUD information for temperature, mini-map, food, health, hydration. Upper right is usually the different windows for information. This is our equipped gear. These are our various containers. So we have our death-proof pocket. You always get to keep that even if you die. Then we have a cans on the wire right here, which is just a couple of cans holding a tiny amount of gear. Then we have the leather backpack I crafted. Each has a limitation on volume and weight. And if you hit either maximum, then you can't put any more in there. So yeah, let's do this thing. The world also resets the randomized items each time you reload. And you'll see what I mean by that here in a moment. I don't have much room to drop more stuff in here. Yeah, we're hitting the max. So we need to get some more storage put together. I've created a stone stockpile here where I've kind of got my food and water items. That's not actually food, at least not used for such. I use it for making bandages. So we need to get 10 stone to get at least one more of these down. And I don't have 10 stone accumulated. I've got 5. We do have a pickaxe. Do we have any stones nearby? Yeah. We'll see how many stones we can get out of this. Alright. I need to get you up here. Put you on the hotbar. Alright. So on the hotbar down below, just below the picture of the item, there's a white bar that is the durability indicator. So we're rapidly depleting the durability on this pickaxe while we're mining these small stones. You can also see the durability by hovering. It says in red at the top there, condition 33% in the pop-up window. So this isn't going to last long. Now, if you repair this up to full durability, it lasts way longer. And I don't mean just in that if you have 4 times the bar, it lasts 4 times longer. It's actually much more than that. It's a little weird the way it works. But you want to get your durability as high as you can, and there are ways to repair the items with certain objects. One thing I want to get out of the way quickly, because it's not explained in the interface anywhere, and I had to go digging in the Discord in order to find an answer, but anytime you want to repair something or combine items, like if you're going to combine 2 containers of the same liquid, and you just want to move the liquid from one container and consolidate it in another, you have to right-click and drag one object on top of the other. And that's right-click and drag, not the normal left-click and drag. So, for example, if I wanted to repair my pickaxe and I had an object that could repair it, which is listed at the bottom of that pop-up window, it says Repair Intel, Iron Scrap, Wire, Metal Pipe, Makeshift Repair Kit, OGD Repair Kit. That is a listing from least amount of repair to most repair. So I could do Iron Scrap for a tiny bit of repair. I could do Wire, Metal Pipe. It would get more and more repair all the way on down to the high-end repair kits. So whichever you use on that list that's lowest is going to provide the most repair. But yeah, so I would, say if I had an object like the wire here, I could click and right-click and drag. The green box appears around it, and when I let go, it says it works, and it increased our durability up to 30%. So we used one wire to do that. So that's how that works. So just right-click and drag if you want to do that kind of thing. All right, we are almost out of water, and I don't have a lot of water handy. Do we have any accumulated here? When you're pointing at objects, workstation-type objects, the mouse wheel will scroll between various choices. So we're going to inspect this. Tells us what it is. And we're going to examine the liquid and see how much water is accumulated. 0.12 liters. So let's go ahead and drink that. This is going to be dirty water. My hit point bar in the bottom left is going to go red, and we get this little biohazard indicator. We're going to take a little bit of damage, but we don't really have a choice. I don't have time to try to purify the water. All right, that's probably empty now. Do I have anything else? I've got nothing in my inventory. I think we need to cook up some food. So let's go ahead and cook up. I need to take these two. This is a Pocahorn meat. I need that for this quest over to Ace Jackson. So we'll cook up some ribs. For that, we need to be close to the campfire. Go to the crafting menu, food, and if it shows a little green symbol here, that means you've got the ingredients to craft something. So all it takes is the meat and us being near the fire. So we're not going to do that because it turns it into steak. So I just want to make that twice. And then this is going to fill both my food and hydration. And if you ever get maxed on your food, it won't let you eat again. So even if you're about to dehydrate to death and you've got nice juicy food, you won't be allowed to eat it if your food bar is full. So just be cautious of that. All right. It's got multiple uses out of most of the food. So it was 100 kilograms to start. That first bite was 50. Second bite. Yeah, that didn't provide much in the way of hydration, but we maxed out our food. So not the best choice, but I didn't have any other options, really. Okay. I need to drop some non-food items in here because I just got no other space. So let's drop the big stuff, which is mostly these planks. I don't need this many planks. Do I have 10 nails? Do I have 10 nails? I have no nails. Wait, no, I have 13 nails. Awesome. Give me those. Build wooden box, and we'll just put that next to this. Then we have to fill in the items that are necessary. So you put a ghost image down, and then you just either click on these or you can drag the materials, but there's no point to dragging. Just click, click, and then the item is available. And then we can open it up, and we've got more storage capacity. All right, this has 60 liters, so I can actually move all of this stuff out of here. I'll use this as my temporary dump point. And we'll put all the crafting materials into the wooden box to make it easier for me to access them. And if you go over your weight limit right here on the left, right about here, it shows in red. Encumbered 105%. I can no longer sprint, and it slows me down tremendously. All right, I'm just going to say store it all, and then I'll sort back out the food items and stuff I want elsewhere. That'll help quite a bit, having that 60-liter storage, although we're already at 30. It's already half gone. All right, I need the meat to take to Ace. I'll take the food item, put that there. We'll take the whetstone with us. Do I want the... I don't really want the crossbow right now. Craft, first aid, bandages. And I don't have enough rags, so we're missing 2 rags. It's not green, so it highlights what you're missing. Put that there. And let's see, what else? I think that's it. We'll take the knife. And the money. Rusty nuts are the early cache. And then there's golden nuts and tungsten nuts when you get later into the gameplay. All right, let's leave that stuff. So we got some storage. We're still going to have a problem with hydration. I could go to build water sources and build some more of these little micro condensers. Takes those parts. I could drop a few, but I really don't want to do it here. I want to get moved up to this settlement and start developing up here. So, unfortunately, you cannot move items that you've deployed into the world. You only can destroy them, and when you destroy them, you get nothing back. You get no refund on resources, nothing. So, you know, don't build too much where you don't plan on spending a lot of time. So, that's the last thing I'm likely to build here, because this is just a temporary spot. Shall I yeah, let's go ahead and re-loot the little camp here. So, the contents of these containers, all of these little stacks are containers of various types that we can loot. And then also there will be things out in the world that are like stockpiles of metal and special little locations that pop up. That gets randomized regularly. It'll randomize automatically if you reload into the world, and then it also randomizes just as time passes and as you move from area to area. So, one thing you can do is just, you know, reload over and over again if you need to loot this camp. That is something you can choose to do. I'll loot it this first time just to kind of show it. Hey there, radar. Hydration is low again. Aloe vera leaf is pretty good. Tomato. 1450. So when night comes, that's actually the best time because you don't have to worry about the sun and the heat, which can be a really big problem. But you can still see well enough that you can get stuff done. Lots of grasshoppers. You can make grasshopper and cockroach puree. Yum yum. Lots of pipes, huh? Okay, that is about it. Jeez, so many tomatoes. Oops, nope, keep that. I really wish it would stop moving my my nuts out of my death-proof pocket. I hate that it does that. Alright, we are over safe temperature. So we're getting a warning and we're taking damage. We're just barely over. Actually, I need to go back out. I need to see if I can craft equipment. We already have the bandana. We can't make anything else. Plastic shoulder armor? What do you give me? Heat resistance 8? Yep, we'll make that. That should be enough to keep me right now. Got me below 50. Got me below 50. 50 is the cutoff point, 50C. As soon as it hits 50, you start taking a little bit of damage. What to do here? Cactus leaf is good for hydration and minimal hunger. So we'll nibble on that as soon as it lets me. Otherwise, yeah, we need water gen. Let's make a quick run to Ace's. Just to get that quest moving. I forget the other things he wants. I wish I could take the other things so I wouldn't have to make the trip back and forth and back and forth. But I forget which items he wants after the Apoc meat. Yeah, now our temperature is down. Oh, and now it's going back up. Now that we're out of the shade. Ah, temperature mechanics. As soon as we can get the full armor set and a hat, we won't need to worry nearly as much about the temperature. But decent hats we're not going to really find until we go outward a little bit. The game is kind of set up in a ring system in regards to kind of difficulty level. So the immediate area you start in is kind of the beginner area. Then if you go outward a ways, you hit the next intermediate area and the enemies and the loot gets a little bit better. That's kind of where I need to be. So that is one of the metal piles I was talking about. A lot of good resources there. You'll be visiting those a lot, and that's one of the things that respawns regularly. These are lowlifes, by the way. These are folks that have been driven insane by the heat and whatever other factors going on in this crazy world. And they're hostile to both you and all the NPCs. I'm going to ignore them for the most part. I'll let the NPCs kill them if they follow me all the way in. Okay. Give me the canned tofu. Hey there, Ammo Ace. Really? You're going to take that? You're going to let them throw rocks at you, buddy? They're wanting to come in. Alright, I'm going to go out and kill this guy just because he's going to be annoying if I don't. Oh, come on. You can get hit by NPC gunfire, crossbows, etc. Gotta be very careful about where you're standing. I've gotten sniped many a time so far by NPCs trying to shoot one of these low-lifers and hitting me. Alright, we're getting dehydration messages, which is raising our stress level, our mental distress or disturbed psyche level. So let's go ahead and try to have some of our cactus leaves. These are pretty good for hydration. Yeah, it got us a little further. It's not going to last long, though. We'll have to go for the soup next. Alright, Ammo Ace, here's your quest item. So when turning in quest, you go to the barter screen, and it'll list the item on the screen. So right here in blue, it's got the Apoc meat to complete this quest. So all the turn-ins are done this way. He rewarded us with some 3mm ball ammo. So we got 50 ball ammo out of that. Now we're going to ask him for another job. Hit the road. Alrighty. Already going to Fat Mike's, are we? Cool. That's actually a good thing. Okay, so Fat Mike's should be on our horizon. It is Mike's Junkyard. You can see it above the door jamb there. So 1.27 kilometers. Back that away. So it's on the other side of Frank and Ron's. So it's going to be up here somewhere. We won't see it on the map until we get close to it. But we'll be able to follow that indicator. Alright, let's go ahead and loot this stuff. We'll loot the location of the not too heavy items, and then we'll take off. So Mike's is a big NPC location. The settlement and Mike's. And then there should be one more nearby, which is a junkyard. You always have that set. I don't see it on my map, though. We didn't start with it real close. It's not this broken repeater. But there should be a junkyard fairly close to our starting area. So I'm always hesitant when I don't see it. That bugs me. I have had a number of issues with map gen. So what we'll do is we'll loot this place. We'll head back to our current home at Frank and Ron's, drop some stuff off. And I'll probably go to the small settlement first and maybe move my stuff over there. And then we'll take a trip to Mike's in the not too distant future. I need to see, I think the starting settlement's always the same in regards to what buildings it has. I don't remember it varying. But how they're arranged and where the settlement's at is randomized via the map. Alright, this is going to be wood. It's too heavy for me to carry right now. Sometimes it'll give you like this plank with nails, so you can get a decent weapon out of that stack. That's the same with this stack here. So I could barter with ammo. He's got some guns and stuff, but most of this stuff takes money that I don't have access to yet. What I would like to get would be... Well, we'll probably end up finding one before I can buy one. I might be able to get some golden nuggets put together, but I'd like a... even a pistol would be fine. Yeah, he doesn't really sell the weapons that I want. Which is kind of weird considering who he is. Hello, bearings. We do need bearings. Lots of bearings. And then there's a cargo merchant at most of these NPC locations. Cargo merchant lets you buy items as cargo that you can then take to other locations to sell. But you gotta kind of map out who buys what and where they sell to. There is a tool in the game under the K key here, the journal, where you can look at your reputation. So we got Dustborn, OGD, TOS, and the bandits. We start negative with the bandits. These two are zeroed, and then we're building up faction with Dustborn, which is all of these local kind of center of the map NPCs. And then over here, the Bazaar Intel, you can click on things. Like this is the cargo for those cargo master I was talking about. So cargo drugs, cargo food, cargo mail. If you pick one, it'll tell you who you have met that actually buys or sells that item. So I know at Ammo Ace, I can talk to Night Peach, and I can sell her the mail items. So if I bring a mail cargo here, she'll buy it for 39. And then if I know somebody who I can buy it from, then it'll list here as well. So as you run around and visit locations, it's pretty important because you'll unlock knowledge about who does what, and you can travel back and forth. But you can do it for other resources as well. So if I want to know, like, who deals with this stuff? Frank and Ron. I can sell them to Frank and Ron, etc. So make sure you check this. It'll save you a lot of time. All right, where are you hiding the item that's under the table? Oh, there's a potato hiding under the table. I just got to get the pixel right. All right. You do occasionally need to sleep. I got this little Z's indicator building up. But really, by the time the animation finishes, you're already... the symbol's already gone. I don't even know why this is a thing. It's so silly. It's done. And now I don't have to worry about it for extended period of time. All right. We got some more stuff to grab. There's another building over here. So this is a wind well. This is the type of building you can build up. If I bring these materials and fill all these in, it will repair it, and then it uses these bearings in order to basically keep it running for a period of time. And while it's running, it acts as a timer or kind of an ammo or fuel, basically. And while it's running, it produces water. So dirty water, but still water. But we're not going to get this up and running here right now. We want to get that up and running at the first settlement where we're actually going to try to make our bit of a base. And we're out of water again. Let's see if we can spot any cactuses anywhere near our path back to the base. Oh, yeah. Jay brings up the skill screen. I've got 13 skill points. Each time we level up, we gain skill points. Right now, we're capped at 40 on our scavenger skill, which reduces weapon and tool wear and tear and providing a higher chance of finding rare items or yielding greater quantities of loot. I always max this out as quick as possible. We need to do quests as per this message. To increase the skill limit, you need to complete the task given by the junkyard lords of the junkyards. So the junkyard is the thing on the map. I said we didn't start with one on the map, and I'm concerned. So we have to find one and then do missions for the main guy there. And when we do, at some point, one of the missions will unlock at least one more, maybe two more tiers. So it's 20 per, and there's 5 different sections. All of them are locked at some point. You can see the gray section is what starts unlocked. And then you have to do things for specific people in order to unlock the rest of that line. I'm just going to save the points so I can bump up scavenger again. Finding that junkyard is one of my priorities. Getting that scavenge skill up as fast as possible is important. More so than damage. I don't really need damage to fight these early guys. So the combat-related stuff isn't going to do me much good right now. I'll stop giving me planks. I don't need your stinky planks. Or your bones. Or really your pipes either. And we're dehydrated. So that's Night Peach. That's the cargo master that we can buy those items from. Or sell to. Depending on which. Another big part of the gameplay is finding or buying blueprints. So you start off with a very limited selection on this list of things you can make. We earned the wooden box blueprint when we were doing quests for Frank and Ron. There are more water sources than just this, but we've got to get a hold of the blueprints. And the same thing for all of these. Entire categories are not listed yet because we don't have blueprints belonging to them. So, there's a list. You can also sell her keys that you find that will open locked chests out in the world. I'm not sure when I would ever do that, but... Well, actually, the bandit ones don't really give me all that much. I'm really disappointed with the bandit loot. So pretty early, I might actually start saving those and just selling them. Alright, that's it for this place. Sun's starting to go down. Temperature should be pretty reasonable. There's one more box behind the house. So in order to get vehicles up and running, you can scavenge car wrecks with a stone hammer. So I'll show you here in a second what that looks like. You can get raw materials like just scrap iron and bolts and nuts. But occasionally, depending on your scavenge skill especially, you'll be able to get specialized car parts that are needed to get vehicles up and running. So this is a total wreck. Normally when you approach it, you don't get any kind of prompt. But if you put a pick or a stone hammer in your hand, then you get this, break a piece of scrap off. So we got a high pressure heat accumulator. That's one of the specialty items to get a vehicle up and running. you can either use it for that purpose, or Mike's Junkyard has a number of merchants that will buy these kind of parts. They don't buy all of them, but they buy probably 75% of the various vehicle parts. It's a good way of earning gold nuggets, or gold nuts especially. So we might take advantage of that. All right, we need to get out of here. Hey, Ammo Ace. So let's click on Frank and Ron, turn that 3D view on. And they're on the other side. So we've got a road heading back out of Ammo Ace to the southeast. That is not going to the bandit stacks. That might lead to the other junkyard. I can't see anything on the horizon. Yeah, we'll have to check that later. I need to get moving. I need to find some cactus. Our insanity level's getting a little nuts. We'll eat that first. Get us a tiny bit of water. I want to avoid these guys if I can. But I want to loot that cactus right there for cactus leaves and cactus fruit. They might activate on me still. Oh. These guys are acting kind of weird. Whatever. Really? Not a single cactus leaf? I actually want the leaves more than the fruit. Alright, what do we got? We got nails towards another box, wires, bearings. I need all the things, but I can't carry all the things right now, so I gotta kind of be picky. What do we got left? 16 out of 20, 18 out of 25. Let's grab just those. We'll have to leave the traverses. They're too heavy. So, examine liquid. Should be gasoline. Oh, biodiesel, and that one's gasoline. Yep. We don't have a use for either at the moment. I was hoping for a blue barrel, which would be water. Usually, you start with, in my experience at least, I've had a blue barrel appear in the vicinity of Frank and Ron's pretty often. So usually I'll do kind of a mid-range loop around the building. There's a grav vehicle. All the vehicles are grav vehicles. Flying a flag. I'm not sure which flag that was. A little too dark. Oh, there it is. All right, how much water are you giving me? 1.97 liters. That's not too bad, actually. I do not have a container for it yet, so we'll just slurp up some dirty water here. That'll keep us going. We'll drink to capacity. So yeah, always just do a loop around the Frank and Ron's, and usually you'll find a blue barrel. That'll help with the early game accumulation. Okay, let's go drop some gear. So here's an example of a vehicle. This is a dust glider. You'd have to put all these parts in. So that's the part that I found, the high pressure accumulator. I could click on this and it would put one of the two needed in the vehicle to get it up and running. So it usually needs, I don't know, half a dozen normal parts and then all of these specialized parts in the middle here. Wouldn't take too long to get this vehicle up. It's got in a starting condition when you build it, it's got 54 kilometers. Usually you can double that with upgrades. It's got damage resist. It's only got 15 liters of cargo space, 10 liter fuel tank, uses biodiesel, and is a single seater. If you're playing multiplayer, we would care about that. But that's all you have to do. Just put all the parts in, get some fuel for it, and you're off and driving. Okay. First this box. How much space we got left? A fair bit. Drop all of the crafting type materials in. Oh, we got a sealed smuggler's letter. We won't be able to do much with that for quite a while. And go ahead and store it. There's not a lot of inventory management options, unfortunately. I definitely need to work on this, given how many items and how often you're opening and closing inventory containers. You can craft from a container content. Just open a container and hit C to craft, and it will use both the inventory of the content of the crate as well as your personal inventory to craft. But you can't craft from containers just by like standing around and having it pull automatically. So you're opening and closing containers fairly constantly. And the only options you have to move back and forth is either to drag, shift click, or use these two buttons. Take all, store all. And when it says all, it means all. Your entire inventory, not on your body, will get shoved over into the box, or the entire inventory of the box will get shoved into your inventory. So, you know, early game you might be able to use these, but later it becomes a problem. Alright. Don't need the ammo right now. The rest of that, stick that in there. I think I'll keep both of those. I'll keep moving my money back up into my death-proof pocket. Alright, so we're good. So we've got water, we've got food, we've got some basic tools and a weapon. We need to go to that settlement next. So it's not too far away. It is it that one? Yeah, it's that one. So it's going to be just inside the tree line, I think. You can actually loot these. Usually it's wires, bolts, planks. So there's a wire. You want to loot every single aloe vera you see. Very critical for healing items. Not sure I'm going to take the time to do this. I can get these items elsewhere. Alright, that is not a cactus. At least now we don't have to worry about the heat. I'm not going to start grabbing auto parts yet. Yeah, it's just inside the swampy area. Hopefully there's no spiders nearby. We do have a metal pile here. I'll definitely grab that. We'll start throwing parts into some of the buildings. If it's stuff I don't want to stockpile for now. We'll constantly be raiding these as they appear randomly. Just take everything you can. Wow, you got everything? Massively over volume. 160%. I love how it does that. Alright, split that in half. You can right-click to split a stack in half, and then middle mouse click on one of the items, and it'll recombine them. That's about the extent of it. You can't pick a specific number. That puts us... Alright, we're in reach now. I might come running back out and grab the last of those. We do need quite a few traverses early game. And since this one's pretty close and easy to find. Yeah, I do not like that we're in the swamp on this first settlement. Another metal pile. Vehicle just hit a tree or a structure and blew up. We'll definitely go look at that. Alright, so settlement. This is a barracks that can be built up to help defend the settlement. We've got the metal crusher. That's the, no, that's the plastic. Turns scrap into sheets. This is the woodworking building. It'll provide planks and sticks. If there's no input listed over here, they will automatically generate these, but you need a certain rep in order to take advantage of it. And this town needs to be protected enough that there's extra civilians actually working these production shacks. But once you get that kind of stuff rolling, basically they produce resources for free. This is the Grand Shack. This is how you donate food and water. In order to basically feed and hydrate the citizens, and it raises your faction anytime you donate anything to any of these buildings. And this will provide food and water for new citizens to join. You'll be constantly losing citizens to encroaching lowlifes. Bounty board. We can get a quest for the bounty board. They want me to kill 9 of those lowlifes. This is just loot. This is the cargo, or the depot. This is one of the things we majorly want to get up and running. So, unfortunately, it takes a huge number of those super heavy traverses, a huge number of iron sheets, and an easy number of nuts and bolts. It's just these two that are a problem. But once you build it, it's a 1,000 storage spot. So it's the primary storage for the settlement. It'll take us quite a while to fill up 1,000. I could throw everything I own in there for quite a while without having to worry about it. So super convenient, but it's going to take a ton of these things. I'm going to need to find like 15 of those metal deposits and haul the stuff back in order to get this thing built. But it is one of the primary ones. Sniper tower. Do we have a sniper up there? We do. Sniper tower is protecting the settlement. Later, if we get blueprints, we can put another tower or two up at various locations to help kill the lowlifes that'll constantly be streaming in. We could build walls around the entire compound and a gate. We can build any of these different structures, all sorts of stuff. The only thing I have not seen the ability to build is another depot. There does not appear to be a blueprint for that super storage location. All right, there's the cargo master up there. This is the lost and found random items. We'll use this temporarily to hold stuff. I haven't decided yet if I want to start right away on that depot or something else, like this thing. We might do this first. Get some water generation up. Doesn't take any traverses, but it does take 10 iron sheets. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go ahead and fill this in. So, you. I forget what else. Alright, so I don't know. We still need all the things. So this is a low-life grunt. This is one of the guys that's just going to constantly be wandering in. I got to be careful I don't get sniped. Damn sniper hits me constantly. Got some coffee, some rags, a stone, and a stick. You can have these back. Alright, this is a stone production. Same as before. The workers of the town actually produce stone here. There's no input that I have to worry about, so it just generates automatically when I have a certain amount and there are a certain number of citizens. Cargo master, just like at Aces, we can buy and sell cargo. In this case, he will pay you for a drug shipment. So if I go from Aces, if I buy the drug shipment there, I can bring it here and I can earn 138 just for doing that trip. Then I can buy mail and food here. So if now that I have this, if I hit K and go to the cargo screen, drugs, I can see here that I can buy it at Aces and I can sell it at this location. So I make that profit. And then this one, unfortunately, they both sell it to me, meaning I buy it from them and I can make a little money here. But there'd be no point in doing this when I've got a much more lucrative one here for earning rusty nuts. And there's no limit. As long as you have the amount and you have carry capacity, you can buy 2, 5, 10, 100, as many as you want, and then deliver it. And I don't believe the prices change. It's a pretty simplistic system right now. What's on the ground? Plank with nails? Oh, I dropped my plank with nails for some reason. I'm not sure what I pressed to do that. Okay, water filter turns dirty water into clean water. Just needs dirty water poured into it via the management screen as well as a charcoal. So you click this to add a charcoal to it, then you click this and it'll take any dirty water in your inventory to fill it. It'll move the progress bar to the right. It'll take multiple of these to push it all the way to 100. You don't have to push it to 100. It just means how long it's going to work and how long it's going to transfer or transmute the dirty water to clean water. And most of these work that way. If it has input slots, you just got to put a bunch in, just keep clicking and clicking and clicking, and you'll see the progress bar tick up, click, 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 and then you can stop whenever you want. But the farther you increase the bar, the longer it'll work on its own without you having to interact with it. All right, that's pretty much it. So yeah, standard town. Looks the same as all the other ones I've done. What do we got? Jinx, firearm specialist. What do you got, Jinx? You got the things I actually want. The ball gun. The ball machine gun. That's what I actually want. 16 gold nuggets. So we need to go to Mike's, get 16 gold nuggets by banging on cars and selling parts, and then come back here and buy a ball machine gun. I like the ball machine gun quite a bit. That'll give us a lot more options. Then we can spend 20 rusty nuts for 5 metal balls, but we got other ways we can get the metal balls for ammo. Okay, so let me pause it for a second, take a drink, think about what I want to do in what order. And what I haven't talked about yet. So it's our first evening. We don't have to worry about the sunlight. We've got some water. We've got some food. That's not an immediate problem. I need to get some money. I need to get a couple of pickaxes, or not pickaxes, stone axes put together, or at least have the materials on me to make more. I want to go to Mike's. I want to bang on cars there or on the way there even. Sell the parts, the specialized parts that we locate. Hopefully we get a lot. I need to find that other junkyard. Mike's will work. He's also a junk dealer. So I can do the quest for him to unlock the scavenging, so I can get my scavenging up even higher, which improves our chances of getting multiple items when we bang on the cars or search in the loot piles, or the junk piles and such. But there's certain things I want to make sure I get done as quick as possible. It'll speed the process up. So I also need to transfer my goods from Frank and Ron's over to here. This is going to be our more permanent home. So looking at the map, Frank and Ron's, us, Ace, fairly close together. Mike's is somewhere over here, so not too bad a relationship given the geometry here. We won't need to talk to Ace too often. We will have to go back there for the drug thing. If I just go run back and forth right now, I could make money doing the drug delivery. I wish I could take something back to sell, but unfortunately there's not a connection that lets me buy here and sell here. I can feed raw material into a device at Ammo Aces to generate those 3mm balls that I want to use for the gun I want to get. But we'll also be able to get ammo at Mike's, searching through junk piles. So, I think I need to see if I have the materials to get a wooden box set up. So it's 10 lumber and 10 nails. We have those 2 metal stockpiles right outside town. I'd like to get that stuff brought in here. I don't have good storage for it, so I basically need to bring it in and immediately dump it into whatever machinery that I can to repair, while holding on to the nails and any planks to get a wooden box down for storage of my own. Because it's going to be a while before we can get that depot up. But I think before we get the depot up, I'm going to work on the things I just mentioned. And if I can get enough vehicle parts after selling the stuff so I can get the gun and a few other things, then I want to get a simple vehicle up as quick as possible, because that vastly improves movement speed and cargo and many things. So there's a bunch of priorities. Like all games of this type, you got to kind of pick what you need to do when. So I am mostly clear on my inventory. Let's bring this down. Go ahead and nibble on some of these. Now that my food and my water level are more evened out, I'm going to go ahead and take a drink of this soup. That should give us pretty much max on both. Yeah, so almost maxed us on both. And we've still got 83 grams, so we've got at least 1, maybe 2 more bites. All right, let's go grab the metal. I want to do that first before I forget, before it disappears. Let's take advantage of these close metal piles. Take it all. We'll have to put the traverses back because they'll be too heavy. Unless I want a really slow walk. Oh, that's not too bad. You can press Z to auto walk. When you're encumbered, you can't sprint anyway, so you might as well just hit Z and let it do its thing. Let's put this stuff into the water mill. Yeah, let's keep working on this. So, 2 more bearings, 3 more plates. Oh, lots of wire. Now, some of this stuff you can make. If you go to your crafting screen, you can go to materials. So, I can make rope and nails and various things. I'm not at the stage that I want to do that. You can even make the components that you need for the vehicles, but it takes quite a few secondary items. We're going to try to find these directly instead of trying to manufacture them. But in a pinch, if you need like one thing desperately and you have some materials around, make sure you check this list. All right, can't do anything more there. Let's throw the rest of this, if I can, into the lost and found. There's more nails. We've got enough nails for a... I think I'm going to throw the traverses into the... back here. Where the hell did you go, depot? There it is. I'm going to throw the traverses into the depot. Alright, let's go get more. Got everything out of that one. Either low life. So some of the lowlifes are neutral. If they don't show their name, you don't want to attack them because they are recovering lowlifes. They're heading into the city to be converted to citizens. This guy's actually got a name. I could beat him up, but I'm not going to worry about it. I got more pressing matters. Sniper got somebody way out here. Sniper's got long range. It's a little dark. I can't quite see if we've got any other piles nearby in the swamp. And the higher grass doesn't help. Various lowlifes. There is something right there. Can't quite tell if that's a vehicle or a metal pile. I think it's a metal pile. Yep. Alright, this guy's alert. We need to take him down. Oop. Made a little easier by him tripping on his face. So, there is physics involved in the combat in regards to facing and timing and so on. And usually you can do a hit and run on these guys. These little low-life guys will also stun and stagger and fall down a lot, making it a lot easier. So, usually you want to try to hit and run type of attack. Just hit them and back off, or aim just to the side of them as you run by and swing so that you're behind them when they try to stop and swing at you. Takes a little practice, but they're super easy. Whoa, we got an iron helmet. That is both good and bad. Alright. I'll have to see if we have a heat problem, because it causes heat stress, which can be an issue. I don't know exactly how to describe this. Why things have both a heat resist stat and a heat stress stat, I'm a little fuzzy. But too much of this is bad, so we'll see. That's 11 more of those. Alright, try take all. Yeah, I figured it wouldn't grab that. 109. I think for 109, I'm going to put the pipes back, and we'll do a faster sprint run back, then we'll come back for more. I'm getting pretty lucky with the nearby metal. Make a fair bit of progress. We can get the wind well up and even just get the traverses for this depot. That'll be awesome. All right, 10 out of 10. We didn't get any bearings. Okay, we're close. It's letting me overfill it. I don't know why occasionally it doesn't read these right. And it lets you overfill. I'm not even sure how much it's going to let me overfill, but it's broken in a few ways. Long way to go there. Alright, that's everything I want to get rid of for now. I forget which direction was that pile. That way. So these piles will despawn and then respawn in other spots a little bit later. So I don't want to leave them out here unlooted. $136. I still be faster than this guy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he won't be able to hit me. Alright, once we get this done, I'll finish searching the horizon over there, and then we'll probably take off. I gotta check wood generation, see if I can get 10 planks together and get a box down. That'll help out quite a bit. We won't, as I showed, this inventory is almost empty. First up, traverses. In you go. More plates, and we got a few pipes. Don't need those here. Got the pipes done here.